Welcome, welcome. So as people continue to arrive, I'm going to invite everyone, let's stay standing or return to standing because we're already up. So we can presence in a different way today. So if you're looking for commitment 7, a little appreciation today, you're in the right place. That's the focus of our book club session today. And we'll begin as always, arriving together. I'm still a little out of breath from dancing. I love it. So go ahead and do this one, eyes open or eyes closed. Practitioner's choice here. And go ahead and widen your stance a little bit if you're standing all close together, military style or yoga mountain pose style. Just a nice wide stance. Kind of make a tripod with your hips and your legs. And we've been doing lots of allowing your seat to sink down when we're sitting. Now allow your feet to release down. As if your feet could expand, broaden, taking up even more surface area. And for all of our friends here in the snow today, unlike some of us in sunny, very sunny California, we're going to rise the sun for all of us. So go ahead, bring your attention to the soles of your feet. Again, committing to releasing down. Knees are soft here. If the knees are locked, you lose connection. And imagine beneath your feet, center of the earth, ball of light, of heat, magma, as if you could connect to that through your feet and allow that ball of heat and light at the center of the earth to rise upwards towards your feet. Just a visualization. And see if you can actually begin to feel the heat come into your feet. And when you feel it, or you're ready to pretend that you feel it, faking it here is perfect. Allow it to rise up through your legs, like the energy of the earth, the warmth, the heat, the light, the core, rising up through your legs, up to your hips and pelvis, buttocks. The more you release down, the more that energy wants to rise up. And then allow that warmth, heat to rise all the way up through your torso, up through your front of your body, through the back of your body. Again, this is a visualization, creating a different reality in your body through your attention. And then let that energy of heat and light expand out through your chest and arms and actually open your arms up through the crown of your head until your whole body is radiating with heat. And then allow the arms to rise up slowly. Again, just like the sun rising up. Keep the elbows soft, chest open. And again, scan your attention from the soles of your feet up your body through the crown of the head and the hands. This right here is the sunshine that is available to all of us 24/7, no matter what. And hands to heart, to the center of the chest, heart center. And as we begin our session on appreciation, I'm going to invite you to give yourself internally one appreciation that feels true for you right now. I appreciate myself for trying something new. I appreciate myself for dancing in front of other people. I appreciate myself for having that really challenging conversation with my son, daughter, wife, partner last night. Find one true appreciation for yourself. And release your arms, close your eyes. And welcome. Thanks for arriving with me. And now Lainey is going to, who we all emailed you, Lainey is taking over logistics and management for this course. Many of you know her, and the rest of you who don't are just in for a treat of being radically supported, which is how we feel about Lainey every day. So she'll take us through logistics and we'll move forward. And I'm going to sit down.
Thank you. Thank you, Erica. Hi, everyone. I am Lainey Yankee. I believe I've met most, if not all of you. If we haven't had the pleasure, I am the Director of Client Services for CLG, and I'm excited to be here. I will be your moderator today, managing breakout rooms and helping to monitor questions. We will be here for an hour and a half, taking a closer look at Commitment 7, Appreciation. And since you are here today, we're going to assume that you've read the chapter on appreciation before joining us today. But there are a couple of logistics that we do want everybody to know. We'd like to ask that everybody is in a quiet place that allows you to focus on today's meeting. We will keep everybody muted unless we are calling on somebody that has a particular question. We would love it if everybody is able to stay on video so we can see your faces and understand that that might not always be possible. We do have a course page for the book that was sent out in the email earlier this week. I will share it in the chat here in just a moment. On the course page, you will find all resources that we talk about today, as well as the recording for today's class, which brings me to the last logistic, that we are recording today's class. It will be shared on the course page within 24 hours after today's class ends. We ask that you do not share the recording with anybody outside of the class that did not participate in today's course. With that, I will hand it over to two of my favorite people, Jim Dethmer and Diana Chapman.
All right, thank you, Lainey. Appreciation, it's one of my favorite topics. To see the value in, and I'm just seeing the value as I look at these faces in front of me. Jim, you want to give us a bit of an overview today? Oh, we want to first go into a breakout room though. Yeah. So before we get started in appreciation, I got so excited about appreciation. We're going to have you go into breakout rooms, and we'd like to have you share with each other, how did it go this last week exploring integrity? What did you learn? Anything you did as an action step that got you more in integrity? How was that? Maybe you want to enjoy being celebrated by some other learning partners. So Lainey, if you could put everybody into breakout rooms of 3. We're going to ask you to 2 minutes each to share what you have been learning about integrity. See you back here in a little bit.
Here we go.
Great. So let's just take a couple of minutes for any sharing or questions or assistance around integrity, living in this energetic flow, completing, and especially getting impeccable around your agreements. So does anybody have anything they want to share about what they experienced this week, or questions, anything like that, before we transition to appreciation?
I have a quick question. So Christine brought up the fact that she's got a relationship with someone and she wants to reveal herself, but she doesn't feel it's safe. And so there was this idea of letting go. And is it really necessary for her to reveal herself? And that's kind of what I'm wondering is, in some relationship, if is it really worth it? Do you always have to reveal yourself, or should you just set a boundary and walk away and not care? Or that's kind of confusing to me.
Just check and see right now, from where are you asking the question?
Confusion. Well, wanting assurance, to do the right thing. Is there a right thing?
Yes. So from where are you asking the question? Above the line or below the line?
Below the line.
Good. That's what I'm hearing too. The one who wants to, there's a right way, want to control outcome. And so then you just want to come back and take yourself through the 4 questions first. Just to recognize there's one over here who's scared. He wants to know the right thing.
Okay.
Because anything we offer you from this place will be us heroing. It won't be transformational to you.
You guys are so smart. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It really fits in, by the way, to what Christine brought up, because the question that Christine and you would explore as you go through the 4 questions, where am I, can I accept myself, am I willing to shift, and how? One of the questions would be, where is safety coming from? Such a profound question.
I haven't been focusing on that one at all. So
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Oh, it's so
That's a really good point.
powerful.
Yeah.
Most of us think that other person isn't safe. I totally understand that language. I understand all the books that have been written about that. Populate your life with safe people. That's not the course you're in here. That's creating safety from below the line by outsourcing safety and security to another person. What we're practicing here, practicing baby steps, toddling. What does it look like to safe myself from the inside? So I'm safe in the presence of this other who's doing whatever they're doing. Christine, this is a graduate school course in freedom and liberation. As long as I keep moving through life, giving people, circumstances, and conditions the right to make me safe or unsafe, I will never be grounded in a safety that is imperturbable. Oh God, I wish we could just all go hang out for a week and talk about this. A week. I'd have Christine stand there and breathe, source safety from the inside. Then I'd have somebody role play this person who isn't safe and say all the stuff they're going to say and say it the way they say it and do all that shit they do that makes them horribly unsafe. And Christine stays over here, circulating breath, feeling her feelings, staying in her body, moving away. Maybe she's got a person over here who grounds her. She looks, she comes back, she breathes until she can be in the presence of that which she calls unsafe and be totally safe. By the way, from there, Christine might choose not to reveal to that person. She might choose to end that relationship. She might, as you said, Doug, just walk away. But she won't do it because she's outsourced safety. Can you just nod your head if you get how fucking radical what I'm saying is? I mean, this is a game changer. Everybody out there in the world is outsourcing safety. Again, I get it. When you're in to me consciousness, you better learn how to make yourself safe by who you surround yourself by, where you go, what you do. But when you move from to me to by me, safety is an internal relationship. Whoa. Okay, there we go.
Thank you.
That's what peace is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
15
Appreciation.
years. Appreciation.
All right, so just the overview, we say that the first 6 commitments, we're building a house, the first 6 commitments are the foundation. We've dug down into the earth. Commitments 1 and 2, responsibility and curiosity, are the cornerstone. They're where we start, and they literally anchor everything together. And then feelings, candor, clearing are the rest of the foundation. And integrity, unsaids, unfelts, unowned, and unkept agreements are the first floorboards going in. Now we're ready to start to build above ground. And we start to build above ground first with appreciation. The next 2 that we cover are really, now that you've got a stable foundation of presence that you come in and out of, you fall off the horse, you get back on the horse, of course you do. But now that you have a way to source that stability, here's the question: what do you want to create with your life? What do you want to use all this energy that you're bringing back online that you've historically invested in drama? What do you want to use all that energy for? Well, one option is to live in a state of appreciation, commitment number 7, and commitment number 8 is to devote yourself to your zone of genius and create what is yours to create in the world. Commitment number 9, you're going to use all that energy to play. Isn't that fun? What are you going to do with all the energy you've invested in drama? I'm going to source appreciation to myself and to the world. I'm going to live in my zone of genius, and I'm going to be a child at play. That's pretty cool. All right. What is appreciation? First, it's a choice. So today we want to really begin to feel the difference from below the line. I'm living in entitlement and resentment. I'm choosing entitlement and resentment. This is the normal state for most people. Entitlement just comes because I think there's a way the world should be. I think there's a way that I and others should behave. I think there's a way that the weather should be. I think there's a way that my company should treat me. I think there's a way that politics should be done. And I get attached to there being a way. Now I become entitled. When the world doesn't show up the way I think the world ought to show up, I become resentful. So it starts with, I think there's a way the world should be. The world doesn't show up the way I think the world should show up. That's entitlement. I become resentful. From that resentment, I try to control the world and force it to be the way I think it ought to be. Right? What that leads to is the world still doesn't cooperate. And so now I'm in the cycle. There's a way the world should be. The world doesn't show up that way. I'm entitled. I become resentful. I get controlling. And then the cycle goes around. That's below the line. From above the line, I start to see the world just shows up the way the world shows up. And I choose to see the way the world is showing up with fresh eyes. Appreciation, seeing things with fresh eyes. And I choose, it's a choice, to have the way the world shows up create in me this sense of appreciation. Fresh eyes leading to the world and the way it's showing up grows in value. I see it with fresh eyes. Now it starts to have constantly more value for me. From that place, I become increasingly more generous with my heart opening to the world and increasingly more available for the world to show up however it shows up. Those are 2 very different ways to be in the world. And it's just a choice. What do you want to do with your energy?
Yeah, but Jim, if I appreciated things that are abusive or, not good for people or the planet or animals, like that doesn't sound, why would any of us change anything then?
Diana, where are you asking the question from? Because what Diana knows from her lived experience is that when I let the world show up as it does, it just presents itself. I see it with being able to make finer and finer distinctions. I can pay more and more attention to the world showing up as it does. And I let it grow in value, being the way it is. Then I come from generosity and gratitude. And from that energy, the possibility of creating and recreating a new world is infinitely greater than trying to create a new world from entitlement, resentment, and force to change. Right, Diana? You know, in every cell of your being.
I'm just
The
saying what everybody
possibility of,
says, right? When they hear this, most people go, wait, no.
like, you're entitled. The way your kid should be is they should do their homework unprompted. You know you're entitled to that because you get pissed off when they don't. If you want to know what you think you're entitled to in life, just look at all the stuff you get pissed off about. That's what you're entitled to. When your son doesn't do what they're supposed to do, your child doesn't do what they're supposed to do, eventually you become resentful. Resentment is just you start to close off your heart. You start to become rigid and brittle, inflexible. You don't have an open mind or an open heart or an open body. You can't possibly see the world through your child's eyes because you're seeing it through your own righteousness. Now, from that energy, you start to try to amp up your control of your child in order to get the world to be the way the world should be. And of course, most children don't respond to that. You do control the food supply and the money supply and stuff like that, so you can get outward compliance, but hardly ever does real internal shift occur because you're bringing a force that needs an oppositional force from your child, and now you're in the loop. What if the gift your child is bringing you is the gift of not doing their homework so that you can wake up to your resistance to letting the world be the way the world should be? So now before you start dealing with your child, you get over here and you go, I wonder if I could see this through a different set of eyes. How could this be for me? And then from there, from curiosity, you start to open up, you go, oh my God. There's so much for me to learn here about my relationship to my homework as a kid, my relationship to things I'm doing or not doing. And all of a sudden, you start to feel a genuine sense of appreciation for your child being the way they're being, because that's your portal to learn and grow. From there, you come towards your child with generosity, honest generosity, where you could say to them, hey, sweetheart, I've been trying to get you to do your homework. I've been bitching, moaning, and complaining, either trying to seduce you with prizes or leverage you with consequences. I just want to say to you, I'm learning so much from you not doing your homework. Thank you. Honest to goodness, thank you. Here's the stuff I'm learning. And one of the things I'm learning is I'm way too much over in your business. Your homework is your business. That's not my business. I want to get out of your business. So I want to appreciate you for being the way you're being in the world. And if you need any support around what you're creating with your life, I'm available to support you. Now, at that point, your kid's head will spin around, fall off its shoulders, projectile vomit, because they won't understand the game you're playing. But I'm trying to paint a picture of what it looks like to move towards the world from appreciation versus entitlement and resentment. Okay, let's do an exercise, Diane. Yeah.
Okay. This is called the water jug exercise. I just made it up. Okay, so as Jim mentioned earlier, how you know what you're resentful about is what you complain about. Okay, so this is a water jug. I'd like you to all get your complaining hats on, and I want you to complain about this jug. Really see, and Lainey, if you could just unmute everybody, I want you to blurt. And, you're not going to offend me if you, really slay my water jug.
Wow, it's really too. Too big. Why do you need a
Not
lot of
enough,
water?
not enough
I
water.
didn't like the shape of it.
It takes a little
Should be more water in
flavor.
it.
That's
The
plastic.
jug is that
Who would
anyway.
drink all that
It doesn't
water?
look like a water jug. It's
Hey,
got a
It's
flow like a
colored.
water.
Get in the right
No.
hand.
Okay,
I wish
it's
it
not.
could.
Very hard to steam and steam.
Get anything in there to
Actually
clean it.
supposed to be hydrated.
It has some weird thing at the
Shape
top.
looks very weird.
Yeah, it looks like it would be hard to hold and pour.
I had that water jug.
Hey,
It'll be hard
Like
to
it.
open.
Awesome. Great job. Okay, now I want you just to see if you can start to feel some resentment toward the water jug. Like, who the hell would buy that water jug? I don't want that water jug.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Now I want you to shift. Same exact issue, same thing. Shift over into what's the value you see? What do you appreciate about the water jug just as it is?
It holds water.
Flexible.
Like cool looking.
I agree.
A lot of water.
Hey,
A-
that water jug.
Show me how much
Water.
you're drinking. And
It's better for you. At least for you,
it'd be really
plastic.
cool to have on my desk as a
Appreciate that it's
decoration. Love it.
I agree.
Simple in design.
I'm a
Use it as a vase.
Think for a moment how your relationship is with the water jug, and particularly pay attention to the body. What happens inside of your body when you shift from resentment to appreciation?
Your body opens.
Yeah.
How do you-
Lighter.
Lighter.
Energized.
Yeah.
Wow.
Great. And now, from appreciation, you get to decide, would I want that water jug or not want that water jug? You still get to have your preference.
If
But
you
now-
type in the chat that you want it, Diana will mail you one.
Okay, so so that's the practice. I want you to start looking at things like you look at the water jug, play around with finding what's wrong, criticizing, feeling that part in you that's ew, and then shifting to appreciation, the same exact thing. And then from there, what do I want? That's the practice over and over again. This is a fun exercise to do with your team. Have your team, you can take a look at something that's a real thing around work, or some choices about what the team is going to do or not do, and play around with shifting from resentment to appreciation here. Okay. By the way, I love my water jug. Just want to say it's glass. It has this top on it, keeps the water clean. It's really pretty, holds a lot of water for the day.
Okay, Vanna.
She's a great Vanna. I agree.
Part of what that illustrates is what we're inviting you to see here is that appreciation is a choice. Through which eyes do you want to see the world? And it's just a movement of a few degrees. How do you want to see the world? All right, if you look at commitment number 7, the way it's written, it says this: I commit to living in appreciation, fully opening to both receiving and giving. Appreciation. Okay, now when we start to explain appreciation and start to practice appreciation, if you're like most people, you're going to discover that you have as much or more difficulty receiving appreciation as you do giving it. Most of us have all kinds of internal beliefs around when we get appreciated, then what? So we come, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I remember first doing this exercise with Gay and Katie Hendricks, where they had us be across from our partners, our life partners. And my husband, the first thing he said was, I appreciate you. I appreciate your lips and the softness of your lips. And I remember the first thing I thought was, seriously, of all the things you're going to appreciate, you're picking my lips? Like, that is not my best traits at all. And my mind was all about pushing away the appreciation. And when that became known to me through some feedback, I realized, oh, I do that all the time. I have ways in which it should be, what's not okay. And it's all just, I'm not willing to be appreciated.
So let's get going in the chat a little bit. What are your favorite ways to deflect appreciation? Like Diana just gave one. Your mind goes, really? Instead of taking in the appreciation and really receiving it, she goes, that's what you appreciate me for? Just start listening. How do you deflect appreciation?
And also my body. I remember when he did it, my chin went up. Like, really? So there'll be somatic things your body will do to deflect. Sometimes people, I see them close their eyes. Oh, okay, thank you. What are things you do with your body, with your mind to deflect? Oh yeah, fake smile. Oh, thank you, that's great.
Oh.
Or how about this one? Oh, well, let me appreciate you right back because that's what you should do. So I'm not even really going to take it in. I'll just focus right back over on you. Or get anxious, like, gosh, what am I going to say to be as like thoughtful as you are about your appreciation?
One of my favorites is to share something that I suck at. Yeah, but have you seen my macrame?
Yeah, well, I'm glad you like my pie, but my mom does it so much better. You should try hers.
I do a lot of that in my mind. Like on the outside, I'll look like I'm receiving it, but in my mind, I go, if you only knew the truth about me, you would not be appreciating me.
Oh, that's great, Shauna, mentioning all the other people that contributed to what you're ever being appreciated for.
I can't take credit. It was my team. I had nothing really to do with it.
Oh, beautiful. So if you wanted, one of your homework assignments could be to go back to the chapter where we list ways to deflect and just get really self-aware about how you deflect and just start to notice it. And then you come back to the commitment. The commitment is this. What if you just started with, I commit to a positive shift in my ability to receive appreciation? If that's all you did, don't worry about giving it. I just commit to opening myself to receiving appreciation. Wow. By the way, if you want to add to that, then write down 25 things you appreciate about yourself. And you'll see that you deflect your own appreciation. You don't even need somebody else. Just watch, just get in your own mind and watch yourself go, I appreciate myself for this. Yeah, but I could have done it better. So you're just going to see, would I be willing to be able to receive appreciation? Okay.
Oh, especially about body parts. That one's a good one. Yes, and see if you'd be willing to practice. Let's just say somebody appreciates you and you catch that you were deflecting. What practice would be, hold on, I just deflected that appreciation. Would you say that again? And let me recommit here, and then take it in, and then, thank you.
That's so good. Take it in. Breathe it in. Let it land.
Yeah, and sometimes I actually have to move my body a little bit or deepen my breath to let it land. I gotta, it's like, oh, you're giving more value over here. What do I need to do? And how do I organize myself to receive more of that positive energy?
Okay, we're going to practice now. In a minute, we're going to put you in groups of 3, and you're going to practice giving and receiving appreciation. And just want to demonstrate how to do it. So we need one volunteer who's willing to be the object of Diana, Erica, and Mai's appreciation. One volunteer who's willing to be the object of our appreciation. You better strap on your seatbelt because you're going to get blown away. I just want to tell you. But so who's our volunteer, Erica? Who's going to do it?
Or Lainey. Maybe Lainey picked it.
Yeah, Lainey, did you pick somebody?
Yeah, let Lainey pick somebody. There's lots of people. Pick somebody and unmute.
Karina.
I volunteer.
I
Okay.
think I'd like to ask Karina and Akiva.
Just one person. I just want one person,
Yeah,
Lainey.
that's one person.
Oh, all right.
Like Jim. Her.
Hi, Karina.
Hello, Jim. Hello, Diana.
All right.
Hello.
So as though we're in the breakout that everybody's going to go into, there's 4 of us here because Erica, me, and Diana. In yours, there'll only be 3. Now, Karina, here's what you're going to do. You're going to take 1 minute, and I'd like Lainey, if you would time this. You're going to have 1 minute just to tell us about yourself. You can pick anything to tell us about. We just want to be with you, listen to you, feel you, hear you. You get 1 minute, and then we get 1 minute to appreciate you. So take a breath and let yourself get here.
And one of the things we're going to do is we're going to pin her image. So what that looks like is we go into her square, there's 3 little dots there, and we're going to go pin. So now I get this full-on view of her. She's taking up my whole screen, so I really get to take her in. Okay, 1 minute, here you go.
Okay, my name is Karina. I was born in the country that doesn't exist anymore, Soviet Union. I grew up in Kyrgyzstan. I lived in Moscow a long time. I'm a mathematician by training. I have a business degree from Stanford Business School, and I spent my last 4 years in the Middle East, living there with my 2 children and my husband, and working in agriculture in the desert. And just 2 weeks ago, I moved to Brazil. So my husband got a new job, and I followed him. So in these 2 weeks, we're settling down. My mind is quite busy with new environment, new language, new everything. I am very happy to spend this time with you guys, because it makes me kind of ground myself and remind myself about other things.
Perfect. Now, Karina, you're just going to breathe as best you can and receive the 3 of us appreciating you. And we're going to appreciate you the way we want everybody to. We're always going to begin with, I appreciate you for. I love it. Is that your child who's opening the door?
Yes. It was reporting that he's going to the bathroom.
Oh, it's beautiful. Okay. And we'll pace it so you don't get overwhelmed and you just get to receive.
I appreciate you for the way your face lit up and your head flew back when we asked you if that was your child.
Thank you.
I appreciate you for your courage, particularly your willingness to go into unknown worlds and live in different places.
Thank you.
I appreciate you for your sadness and for the losses you've had in your life, including I was born in a country that no longer exists, and all the things you've lost in life and connected with your heart to them.
Thank you.
I appreciate you for your resilience that I see in your eyes and in the muscles of your face. And the way that I see light coming out of your face. I see resilience and appreciation.
I appreciate your focus and dedication to your academic pursuits. that got you into one of the most renowned business schools in the world?
Thank you.
I appreciate you for your commitment to partnership with your husband, such that he gets a job in Brazil and you choose to be in a dance with him around partnership. That I imagine wasn't simple and easy, but you've prioritized some way you're in partnership with him. Okay, how you doing over there?
Very good, actually. I'm very impressed by the way you could read me.
Yeah.
So, no, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you're so welcome. By the way, thank you for being willing to be an object that we could rest our attention on and appreciate you, which changes us. Both the receiver and the giver are changed by appreciation. So thank you. By the way, we say this all the time. People think, well, I can't really appreciate people unless I know them really well. Check. We've known you for 1 minute, and I just hunch we could keep going. If you're appreciating somebody, it means to be sensitively aware. If you just turn on your sensitivity to another person, you can see, feel, know all kinds of things that you have appreciation for. All right, so that's going to be the exercise. We're going to put you in triads. Now listen carefully. The person with the longest hair, you're going to go first. You're going to take 1 minute to do just like Karina did. Just talk about yourself. When the timer goes off, you stop. The other two people have 1 minute to appreciate you. And again, we want you to complete the phrase, I appreciate you for. And it doesn't have to be some big, profound thing like, I appreciate you for your lips and for the shape of your lips. They look beautifully symmetric. That's not some big, profound thing. You can appreciate for anything. Okay.
And by the way, you don't have to be right. You might be appreciating something like I might appreciate that you take good care of yourself physically. I don't know if that's true. So let it be okay to make stuff up.
Yeah. When that minute is up, you stop. Then the person with the second shortest hair, 1 minute, talk about yourself. The other two people, 1 minute of appreciation. Just go back and forth like we did. Stop. Third person, 1 minute to talk about yourself, 1 minute to appreciate the other two people. Can you keep track of that in your heads? You can't screw it up. You'll have whatever experience you have.
And one of the thoughts I have is let's do like 1.5 minutes of appreciation. So each person will be 2.5 minutes, Lainey. Just give a little more space.
And over there making it happen.
Lainey is going to be letting you know when to switch. We know you're going to get excited about appreciating and you might want to keep going, but then that won't give the next person enough time. So I want to make sure you really honor when Lainey says switch, please switch to the next person. So everybody gets to be appreciated.
Okay.
All right.
Away we go.
All righty, welcome back. We want to debrief that exercise. So how was that for you? Whether you were the appreciator or the one being appreciated, what did you notice?
I got very hot.
Yeah, somatically heat started to show up in the body. That's pretty common.
I noticed.
Go for it, Cindy.
I noticed I was a better listener.
You were a better listener. You mean when you were being appreciated?
And yes, well, and giving appreciation, but being appreciated, I was a better listener too.
Uh-huh. Oh, got it. But when you were getting the 1 minute, you really wanted to pay attention since you knew where you were going to be appreciating.
Yes.
Okay, great. Travis, how about you?
I noticed the rapid nature of different feelings. So I went from almost like a samskara release of sadness for something that I didn't realize I'd been holding sadness, because it felt amazing to be appreciated for the effort I had put into those things. And then immediately into happiness and heat and then joy. It was a really fun roller coaster. And I had written down before I went into it in all capitals, group exercise, I am resisting this, ! Why? And then I wrote and ... as I've done. I loved it. It felt so great.
Great. So there was some unfelt sadness that you weren't aware of that rose up when you were being appreciated.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Others, what was your experience?
I think the thing that really struck me is being present with someone and the texture of listening to what someone is saying. Like how many times I've had a very similar conversation without absorbing as much as I did from this conversation that I had. That just blows my mind. And it kind of tells me about what kind of conversations I want to have and what kind of life I want to live. It's so incredible.
Yeah, so you're noticing I don't usually pay such close attention in these conversations, and how different it is when I do.
Massively.
Beautiful.
And if I may, it's also all the emotion that we feel when we know we don't necessarily know the person, but we find so many good things to appreciate the person for. So that emotion it's gratifying for us as well, just to see how we can appreciate someone that just by paying attention to 1 minute of life story. It was quite, emotive.
So what I hear is there was a lot. You could really see how much you could appreciate.
Yeah.
Anybody want to share anything about how you noticed you resisted appreciation? Anybody have an experience, and what was that like for you?
That was my first reflex as well, to say, oh my God, do I really deserve that?
Do I deserve this?
Yeah.
My experience was that it was easier to receive it from people I don't really know. I didn't feel any resistance at all, and yet I have lots of resistance in relationships that are closer to me.
Great noticing. Okay, good.
I noticed I found it very fun and easy. And what I felt curious about is this might actually be harder with some people that I know that I'm irritated with and angry at. So that was curious.
Yeah, great. So if I'm withheld from you, I've got things I'm backed up about. I'm not in connection, because I've usually, when I withhold, then I withdraw. So if I'm withdrawn, I'm not very available to receive from you. Yeah. So valuable to be able to go take responsibility for clearing things up with folks, so you can have that giving and receiving of appreciation.
Also, receiving appreciation, receiving it is a great act of vulnerability. And with a lot of people that you're close to, you've closed and you're not willing to be vulnerable and really take it in. One of the ways you know you've closed off is you're closing off to appreciation because it feels too vulnerable.
And notice there's lots of sexual energy, right? Jim often talks about intimacy, into me, see. And appreciation is all about, if you're looking for it, I'm looking into you. Here's what I see. And you've opened this intimate connection with a stranger potentially. So how do you be with that?
Dr. John Gottman is a relationship expert, and he can watch a video of a couple for 10 minutes and have very high predictability of whether that couple will stay together and thrive, or whether they'll have drama and potentially separate. And all he's doing in those 10 minutes is he's watching all the different ways they're appreciating or not appreciating one another. And he's paying attention to how they are appreciating with words, with body language, etc. And he says the formula is 5 appreciations to every 1 criticism is the special sauce for a thriving, intimate partner relationship. And I lecture over at Stanford's design school, and they're doing research on what makes the most effective design teams in the world. And when I was visiting the office, they had Gottman's work up on the wall. And I said, hey, what's going on? You guys have Gottman's relationship stuff for couples. And they said, turns out in our research, it's exactly the same 5 appreciations on a team to every 1 criticism. And that most teams are the opposite, if not 10 criticisms to every appreciation. Anytime you go, yeah, but, or here's why that can't work. He said, those are all versions of not appreciating. So really fun to start paying attention to in your team. If you're bringing this into your organizations, how do we put the gas on more appreciation?
So Leah and Christine both have a question. I notice I feel missed when I hear the same appreciation over and over from people. Any ideas about that?
Yeah, first of all, Leah, missed isn't a feeling. When you believe you're missed, what do you feel?
Angry.
Yeah, thank you. So the first place you could go is to reveal that, wow, I notice I feel angry. I'm making up the story that I'm not being fully seen. I'm only having a part of me be seen. First of all, go there to start with so you clear and come back. Then what's going on with appreciation is, this is so beautiful, it's to be sensitively aware. What that means is, if I commit to being sensitively aware, I can see with fresh eyes and I can make finer and finer distinctions. So even with somebody you've been with for a long time, I've known Debbie since we were 15 years old, 52 years. I can still choose to see with fresh eyes and appreciate her for something I've never appreciated her for before. That's what you're wanting, Leah, right? You're wanting to be seen with fresh eyes. So first own your anger, then come back and eat it. Are you willing to see this other or others with fresh eyes? Because a lot of times we appreciate the same thing over and over again in other people. And if I pick 10 people, I'd have the same appreciation because I'm projecting me onto them rather than seeing them. So first, feel your anger. Second, are you willing to see with fresh eyes? And then third, make a simple request. Hey, you've appreciated me for that several times, and I get it. I take it in. Would you get present and see if there's something else you appreciate me for? Make a request and see what happens.
Leah, what was the thing that you were being appreciated for that you felt that anger?
It's like a flavor of being real and vulnerable. I receive that appreciation. It feels like frequently, and anger arises.
I'm just still wondering, are you really fully appreciating that about yourself? How real and vulnerable you are. What an incredible gift that is about you. So that would be something I might just pay attention to, is to the extent that I'm getting irritated. Why do you all keep saying this? I just get curious about, well, survey says this message wants to keep coming at me. Is there any way I haven't let it all the way land?
Okay. All right, for each of these commitments, 15 commitments, the way we see them is there's kind of like, an entry level playing with the commitment, and then there's kind of a mid-level, and then there's a high level, and then there's graduate school. So we're going to end with graduate school on this commitment. I want to say that again. What I'm about ready to coach somebody through is not for the faint of heart, and it's not generally for newbies. Start with some more basic stuff. But when you're ready, here's a game you can play. Remember, this is the willingness to shift from resentment to appreciation. The willingness to shift from feeling resentful to feeling genuinely appreciative. So here's what I need. I need a volunteer. I need somebody who is not new to this work. You've been hanging around, you've been coached, you've been in a forum, you're in the coaches program, something not new to the work. You can think of somebody anytime in your life, any place in your life that you still have real resentment for. You can think of something you resent them for. It could be a thing they did, a way they're being, something they said or didn't say, a specific thing that when you tune in, you can still feel, I resent them for that. Got it? And as much as you know yourself in this now moment, you're willing to shift. Not a newbie, a real resentment. And as much as you can tell, and we'll see, you're willing to shift. All right, so who would volunteer to practice with me in the group? Great, Anna, let's go. Unmute Anna Davidson. Thank you, Anna. Anna and I have been friends for 25 years or something like that, so I love playing with you, Anna. All right, Anna, first thing I want you to do is just tell us like the initials of the person or a first name, doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, Bob.
Great, Bob. And now tell me one thing you resent Bob for, and try to be as specific as possible.
Well, from where I sit, I can see our unmade bed, and I resent Bob for not making our bed today.
God, that's fabulous. Great, beautiful. Okay, now the last thing I'd like you to do is just scan the screen in front of you and see if anybody you could have stand in for Bob, so that you're going to talk to the person who you pick, and they don't do anything other than sit there, and you're just going to project onto them. Is there somebody who you could pick?
Sierra.
Sierra, would you be willing to be the transferential object of Anna's resentment? I can't see you. I assume
I'm good. Yes.
Great. So Sierra, all you need to do, and I want to really mean this with you, just sit and hold presence, breathe, and just be a receptor. Good. Anna, what I want you to do is pin Sierra. So he's on your screen.
Okay.
All right. Now, what you're going to start with, Anna, is you're going to complete the simple phrase, I resent you for. Now, you're talking to Bob.
Mm-hmm.
Bob, you don't have to say that because we know, I resent you for. Now, this is not an intellectual exercise. It's a heart-body exercise. So look over there and see the unmade bed. And let your body become resentful. Yeah. Let it come up. Let the images, let the movie play. Let it all come up. I resent you for. And all you're going to do is say that several times. Is it, I resent you for not making the bed? Find the words. I resent you for. What is the exact thing you resent him for?
For being lazy.
Oh, beautiful. God, fabulous. Good. I resent you for being lazy. Now, Anna, you know this. What we're looking for here is matching. Mm-hmm. Match the words, the expression with the experience in the body. Matching. By the way, some of you, this is going to be an intense experience. Take care of yourself. If it's too much, mute Anna so you can't hear her. The rest of you keep breathing, because we're going to hold space for somebody to feel resentment. Hey, Anna, when you're ready, I resent you for being lazy. Look at Sierra and give it to him. Good. I love that you're standing up. Beautiful.
I resent you for being lazy. I resent you for being lazy.
I resent you for being lazy. Ugh.
Yeah, great.
I resent you for being lazy.
So you know this, Anna, just check and see, take a breath. Did you express it so that the expression matched the experience? Did you go all the way? It's not, and you know this, Anna, it's not necessarily about volume, though it could be that. It could be an intensity. Like the last time you said it, there was an intensity to it that lined up with more what's in the body. So just feel, just check, did I match it? And if you didn't, just take a couple more bites of the apple.
I resent you for being lazy. I resent you for being lazy. Ugh. Ugh.
Okay. Everybody else breathe, feel into this. Anna, check and see. Are you willing to shift? I'm not asking you, were you willing 5 minutes ago? In this now moment, are you willing to appreciate Bob for being lazy? To see him with fresh eyes, to be sensitive to all the dimensions of laziness, and to have him and his laziness grow in value in your heart and body. Are you willing to appreciate him for being lazy?
Yes.
Okay, you know the drill. I appreciate you for being lazy. See him, feel him, see if it's there. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you for being lazy. I appreciate you for being lazy. I appreciate you for being lazy.
So you're feeling in your body. Check and see. Is the body, when you appreciate, the body softens, the heart opens. Just check and see. Is there softening? Is there opening? Yeah. Bob, one of the gifts I get from you being lazy that I would not get if you weren't lazy. Parentheses, everybody knows lazy is a story and it's arguable. We're just staying with this practice. Bob, one of the gifts I get from you being lazy that's an authentic, genuine gift is?
One of the gifts I get from you being lazy is it slows me down. Bob, one of the gifts I get from you being lazy is I get to be closer to you, be with you, running around. Bob, one of the gifts I get from you being lazy, I get to stop holding everything.
No, your sweet soulmate puppy is saying amen. Okay, now gang, I want you to get this. This doesn't mean that when she sees the unmade bed tomorrow, she won't have a wave of resentment. It's coming from entitlement. I'm entitled to have Bob not be lazy. And of course, Anna has a whole definition of what not being lazy means. It includes make the fucking bed. So when she's back in the way the world should be, and she gets entitled to Bob being a certain way, she's going to feel resentment. Now, Bob and Anna are committed to a conscious relationship. So from candor, commitment 4, she could say to him, hey, Bob, are you available to really see me right now? And Bob gets present. He goes, yeah, I am. And she goes, I resent you for not making the bed. I resent you for not making the bed. Bob's over there breathing, feeling, sourcing safety and security and approval from the inside, moving, being with her while she feels. She completes. She goes, I appreciate you for not making the bed. And here's the gift I get. And she gets to be in a dance of co-commitment, of moment by moment, day by day, shifting resentment and entitlement to appreciation. All right, Diana, looks like you're wanting to come forward, please.
Yeah, so somebody said, I'm afraid I might do a intellectual or spiritual bypass with this practice. And that's a really thoughtful thing to be paying attention to. So one of the ways I know I'm not just having it be intellectual is there really is a somatic experience happening in the body, like heat is rising. My breath opens up, it feels more spacious or light. I feel a giggle rising or sadness or a heartbreak happening. Something happens. I feel something in the heart opening. So it's really easy to go, sure, yeah, I can see, lazy's good. I can be lazy better. It is easy to do a bypass here. And that is one way people can weaponize this. So pay attention to that. And then the other thing is, if you notice, like, I'm not sure, then go back to resentment again. And you can go back and forth. And that's often, if you spent more time here, that's usually how Jim would do it, is go back and forth until you really feel that somatic, heartfelt opening.
Yes, a lot of times you're not available to appreciate because your pipe is still stuck with resentment. So more resenting, go all the way, then see, just check, is there genuine appreciation for the person, circumstance, or situation being just the way it is? You'll know that because at the end, Anna could look at Bob and say this, I look forward to you being lazy.
There's
now,
another break. Go ahead, Jen.
There's another piece I just want to say. Shift gears. Anna tonight, they're having a glass of wine together. She says, Bob, when I tune in from Presence, I have a request. Would you be willing to make an agreement with me about making the bed? I'm not doing that from entitlement or resentment. It's not a should. It's not the way the world should be. It's my preference. So I want to ask you, would you be willing to make an agreement with me about making the bed? So all the commitments dance together. And if she asked that from Presence, it's very different than saying, Bob, you never make the goddamn bed. Will you please make the bed? I do so much for us. I'm working my ass off. Would you just do something around here? That's probably not going to elicit a lot of heartfelt intimacy and connection for either of them.
Which is not the energy you want in a bed.
Also remember that you're below the line when it's not funny. And so the other thing is, can I play with this? Like maybe tomorrow when you get out of bed, he like rips all the covers off and throws the pillows and like really makes a scene, and can we have fun with it? Because if it's not fun and funny, then you still got something still stuck in there. And that's one of my favorite things to do. My husband's like, babe, you left the drawer open in the bathroom, so then the next time he comes in, I opened every cabinet and drawer in the bathroom and we play with the pattern. so that we don't get caught in the seriousness of it.
Okay. I think we're about done for today.
Mary's
That should be
Mary's got a burning question. Mary, what is your burning question? Let's see.
I think she was waving goodbye because she's no longer here.
I thought it was like, hey, wait, hold on a minute.
It was, can I leave?
All right, so your practice this week is to play around with giving and receiving appreciation. There's a video on the resource page again where I explain the 4 qualities of the mastery of appreciation. Is it succinct? Is it unarguable? Is your whole body engaged? Is it specific? So you might want to go review that if you haven't seen that video. And we look forward to hearing how your practice was next week. All right, we'll unmute everybody, Lainey, and we get to say goodbye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good weekend.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
So much.
Feel free to send your appreciations into the chat to us.
Oh, yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Leo Perlman, did you see my message in the chat?
Oh yeah, I'm Waterworks over here.
No.
Thanks.
Uh-huh.